Hey up lads and lasses, Damfire here, back again with the tier maker. So we are back with Infinite Lagrange and we are going through the new ships that got added. This is the Corvette, the CVT-800, the Cruiser, the Jaeger, and the Destroyer, the Quarrel, however that's meant to be said. So, let's jump straight in, but before I do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It does help me out, and it helps the channel out. And yeah, without further ado, Corvette, the CVT-800. So the CVT-800 sparks a nice little weapon on it. It's got a 144 damage energy weapon that fires every couple of seconds. Upgraded, it goes down to 2.1 seconds, and the strategy on it doesn't really do all that much. So the strategy on it is reduce the cooldown, similar to other systems that you have on energy ships, similar to the IO and stuff like that. So it just reduces cooldown a massive ton, allows it to fire a little bit faster for a certain amount of time. Now the problem with this is the Corvette is said to be anti-air. It specifically says it's an anti-Corvette. So it should be attacking fighters and other Corvettes and bombers. However, in practice, it does none of those things and just goes for ships, which does leave it in a bit of a precarious situation. So just quickly, I want to move some stuff around because people were saying that everything's too grouped up. So we're just going to drop these down like so. And do you know what? I might even put that into D and the base nebula into... Not the base, the base nebula into C. I think that's a bit better. They are still all very good. They are Corvettes at the end of the day, bar the CV. It's pretty terrible. Anyway, back to the T-800. So, yeah, unfortunately, it does not fulfill the role that it was designed to do. I mean, this is either due to a bug or coding, or I have no idea. I have pointed it out to the devs, so maybe it will get fixed. If it gets fixed and it is specifically anti-air with the reduced firing rate on its energy weapons and the fact that Corvettes have no energy armor at all, so it's just going to be taking the full whack of this thing's damage output, this is easily S tier. However, due to the fact that is currently broken, it's going to have to sit within either A tier or high B tier. Is it better than... It's better than that CV. But it's probably worse than the Red Beast and the Void Elfin. Yeah, I think that's about right. Anyway, let's cut over to the Destroyers. So here we go with the Destroyers. Again, I want to move some stuff around here. So what I'm going to do is all the carriers are going to be moved into situational, because they are situational on if you don't have the right things for them, they're not particularly good. We're going to move these down a little bit too, and yeah, I think that's good. So we still got our OP defensive and assault Tauruses at the top. Ceres support, Tundra support, Guardian support, base Taurus up high, heavy cannon Eris, base winged Hussar, and I believe that's the Pulse Guardian. I believe that's about right. So we have the Quarrel. Do you know what I think they're trying to do? I don't know if this is just an English term or not. But if you really like something and you make some weird sounds occasionally, you go, Quah! It's good, isn't it? Quah! Is that what it is? Is it Quah? That's the only thing I can think of it being. So, the Quah. We've got the railgun. This is the base variant. Now, the railgun, unfortunately, only hits at about 300 damage base. It can be upgraded a bit, I believe, to 450 damage, and it can get an extra 135 or something like that. It's got a 16-second cooldown. It fires 2 shots. It has this apparent special ammo that means it's better at hitting the likes of cities and bases a little bit harder, which does put it into more of a siege category. Unfortunately, siege is pretty much worthless as far as I'm aware, and I've been testing, and the extra siege damage doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's in an odd position. That being said, it's pretty much all round not particularly great. It's base armor at 20, and it's just sat right in the middle of everything with damage output as well, which does leave it to probably be in high C, potentially B. Now, its variant, on the other hand, is rather good. It has a cluster torpedo replacing that railgun, doing 420 damage per hit, and it hits 8 times per shot. It has got a very long attack interval, though, over 20 seconds, which means it won't be hitting too often, but when it does hit, it's going to hit like a ton of bricks. This is very similar to the ship escapes me, Callisto. It has that cluster torpedo, but the Callisto fires off a lot more of it, and a bit more regularly than this as well. However, its damage output is pretty damn good from testing, and I definitely rate this in A tier. I'd probably rate it over the Guardian, over the Winged Hussar as well. It's probably lower than the Eris, the heavy cannon Eris, and that's just due to the fact that the heavy cannon it's pretty good. Once you get it going and you got some buffs in your fleet giving it, extra hit rate and stuff like that, it just does some solid damage per second. It really does. So yeah, I don't think it's quite as good as that, but the Quarrel is definitely A rank for certain. It's got decent weapon loadout. Its missiles and stuff aren't particularly good, but they're slated to be anti anyway, so we don't worry too much about that. But its main weapon system with the torpedoes is very strong. Right, last but not least, we're over to the cruisers. Okay, we are in the cruisers. Let's move some stuff around a bit. So, KCCP V2 carrier down to there. Predators down that way as well. The other ones are support and whatchamacallit, UAVs. Move that down there. I think the support can come down this way. Actually, I think, oh no, the support's probably pretty good. I say probably, it is pretty good. Light Cone Assault. I underestimated this one. It's moving up to A tier, and that's due to the fact that it is very good in fact. So its UAVs actually deal quite a bit of damage, and yeah, it does its job a lot better than I initially thought. And I don't personally own it, but I've seen a lot of battle reports, and it's definitely dishing out the damage needed in the role that it's playing. The rest of everything looks about right, more or less. Oh wait, one of these is a carrier. Yeah, so there we go. That can go into situational as well. So, the Jaeger. We have the base Jaeger, which is a carrier, so that is going to go into situational, but I'm going to be talking to you about it a little bit first. It has Corvette mounting dock on the front of it. It can load up 4 Corvettes. That actually puts it in a position as the second best Corvette carrier after the Solar Whale. Yeah. It's very strong. Again, it's situational based on which Corvettes you can bring in. But if you can bring the top line Corvettes in, it's going to, yeah, it's just going to stick around at the back. 4 Corvettes on each one. It's bringing in a lot of armament for its cost. It's definitely, if you have top tier Corvettes, the Jaeger is S tier. Absolutely certain. So yeah, not much more to be said about it. It's just very good. Highly recommend. If you've got Corvettes, you've got the Jaeger, you don't have a Solar Whale, or you don't plan on running the Solar Whale, do run the Jaeger and run those Corvettes on that. We then have its odd brother, the heavy cannon variant. Now the heavy cannon has 300 damage per hit, fires 2 rounds every 14 seconds. So it's got 2 cannons, just fires 4. And it falls very, very short of where it really needed to be very good. I was kind of hoping that it would be kind of like the Eris and have all these like things to make the heavy cannons rapid fire and fire on ridiculous time intervals and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it does not. It's just a big cannon that fires every now and then, and the rest of its systems aren't particularly great. Its base armor's at 50, so it's the base standard for cruisers. So it does sit in a pretty bad situation. I'm actually going to drop that into C tier. I don't think it's quite as good as some of the others. We will move down one of these actually as well, because one of these is the railgun, I believe, and that should be in C as well after testing. So yeah, the Jaeger, heavy cannon, unfortunately disappointed. I would have loved to have a cruiser variant of the Eris heavy cannon, because that would have been absolutely amazing. Having like a, just like, even if it's not high damage, but just the fire rate of the Eris heavy cannon variant on a cruiser would have been awesome. That would have been really, really cool to see. That would have probably made A tier, just because of the damage it can knock out, and it would just wipe any frigates and destroyers in front of it within seconds. It would have been glorious to watch. So there we go. We've updated a couple of tier lists a little bit. We moved stuff around. Most stuff stayed pretty much still. We have moved stuff into the situational sort of tab, just due to the fact that that's where it should have been in the first place, really. We've moved a couple of other bits and pieces around, and we have added the new ships. Now, I will have a look into adding the outpost ships, but for the most part, due to the fact that if you do undock from the outpost, you do lose the blueprint and you can't create anymore, which does put them in a very, very odd situation of, do you really want to be docked up to a ship outpost the entire game just so you can produce a ship? Or would you rather, dock to the reinforced +4, dock to the capital shipyard so you get a second capital shipyard? It's very, very situational, and I don't think they really should be on the tier list because of that. But if you think otherwise, do let me know. Maybe I can do a tier list of just the outpost ships, and they can be their own separate tier list that you can go have a look at. But yeah, do let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.